In this video, we're going to show how to remove and replace your igniter on a P-Series stove. The first thing you're going to want to do is turn the power off, which is located right here. And then you're going to have 4 9/16 nuts to take off on your actuator plate. Once you have those taken off, you can just pull back on your actuator plate and set that off to the side. So inside here, you're going to see your igniter is located right here, and you'll have 2 blue rubber hoses here, and that's what pushes air over the actual igniter to push the hot air onto the burn grate or onto your pellets. Your next step would be then disconnecting the 2 white wires here. So you'll have a black and a white one coming from the actual electrical panel. Then you'll have your 2 white ones coming from your igniter. So you can just take those off, pull those out, and then in the back, but to the left of the igniter, you'll have 1 more 9/16 nut to remove. Once you have that taken out, you can go ahead and pull back on the igniter a little bit till you can get the upper air hose, and you just pull it back so you can disconnect it. Then you can pull the air tube out of the slot in the back and pull your wires down, and then pull the igniter tube out and remove the bottom air tube. So once you have those out, this is the actual igniter tube with the igniter inside of it. You'll have these 2 90-degree fittings for your air hoses. So using a 7/16 wrench, just put it on the square side and just loosen them up. And you can go ahead and pull out your actual igniter. So when we do ship you guys an igniter, or if there's an igniter that needs to be replaced, you will only get this component. You won't get both of these. So inside here, there's an actual igniter coil where the air blows over. So when you get your new igniter, you put it in your existing air tube and line up the 2 holes. So you have a hole on each side for your air pump nozzles. Just line them up and then just thread these in. So once you have those air nozzles put in using your 7/16 wrench, you can go ahead and retighten them. And you always just want to make sure when you're tightening, they're facing completely to the back of the igniter. As you can see, they're both snug and they're both facing directly to the back. You can then slide your igniter back in. Put it on the bracket, and then first you're going to want to feed your wires through. So there'll be a little hole here. You can push them up. Once you have the wires pulled all the way through, move them as far as you can to the left side of the pocket, and then feed your other air hose back in. So using your other finger to guide it, you'll be able to feel where it goes and just push down on it, and it'll pop right through. And then the hose on the right will connect to the top one. And then the air hose on the left will connect to the bottom one. Once you have that back installed and the hoses are pushed on tightly, take your 9/16 nut and say clear that igniter again. You can then go and plug in your 2 igniter cables. There's only one way these can be plugged in. And then you can remount your actuator plate. So before installing your actuator plate again, you'll have this orange gasket around it. Just take a quick look just to make sure that the gasket's still in good condition and it'll still be sealing, so you have no air leaks going into your chamber. If your gasket's in good working order, you can go ahead and remount the actuator plate. And when you go ahead to tighten these, you can tighten them all slightly. And then once it comes to actually tighten it all the way, to seal it all the way, tighten it like you would a car tire, just to make sure that the pressure is even along the whole place and reduces any chance of air leaks. And that is how you replace an igniter on a P-Series stove.